The new Nacht Untoten world record is around 5,262. Before we can get to round 5,000 and talking about that, we have to rewind all the way back to the beginning of Cruppz's game so you can understand how he got to 5,000. He plays basically the same as anyone else does for the first few rounds, except instead of opening the couch on the staircase to go and find the mystery box, he actually opens up the help door, and this is going to be important for his high round strat later on. From here, he will be training in the mystery box room and using the ray gun until he gets the flamethrower out of the box. He's really only going to be spinning the mystery box a few times per round, if that, because speed is important in world record games. And there's no point in being slow by using weaker guns just to gain points when you could just power through rounds with the ray gun and get the flamethrower at your own pace with the points that you get from killing zombies with the ray gun. Cruppz continues to use the ray gun until round 50 pretty much exclusively, because even though it's not super powerful, it is still quicker to use the ray gun over the super slow flamethrower this early in the game. After round 61, he stops using the ray gun entirely because it does become so weak, so it is then swapped out for the Thompson wallby, which will again be important for later on in the game. And from this point forward, the flamethrower and the Thompson will be the only guns that are used for the next 5,000 rounds. After he gets the flamethrower and the Thompson, there isn't much to talk about until we reach a very important point in this game, and I want you all to listen very closely to this. On round 163, this is where insta-kill rounds begin. An insta-kill round is when the zombie's health gets so high that the game overflows the number to a negative number, so their health becomes negative and creates zombies with no health. The zombies will still be able to spawn in as normal, but they will only need one bullet to die. This was a developmental oversight caused by the 32-bit integer system that the game was created on, and only occurs on World War and Black Ops 1. There is no way to avoid this, and it is not cheating. I see this every time I make one of these videos, so I just wanted to clear this up for you guys. Anyway, starting on round 163, this insta-kill round happens almost every other round for the rest of the game. Later on, there are times where you will have 2 insta-kill rounds in a row and then 2 rounds in a row without it, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just say it happens every other round. And if you are a serious high round player for World of War or Black Ops 1, there is a spreadsheet showing every insta-kill round all the way up to round 10,000, which I will link in the description. But these insta-kill rounds are the reason why the Thompson is so important. The flamethrower only has a very limited radius, so the Thompson is used to kill zombies from far away in order to end those insta-kill rounds quickly. Because Nacht has a tendency to spawn zombies way out in the middle of nowhere, and there is only 24 zombies per round, so you kind of want to get them over fairly quickly. And because, as I said earlier, speed is important in every high round zombies game, because Nacht Untoten on Xbox 360 has a reset time of about 164 hours, but that hasn't been entirely proven, and the number fluctuates. A reset, for those unfamiliar, is basically how long you can be unpaused and playing your game until your system can no longer handle any more entities on the map, and it has to dump them by resetting your game back to round 1. This can happen on every single map, and you're playing against the clock at all times, so you need to be quick in basically everything that you do, and everything has to be deliberate. There isn't any time to just wander around with a zombie or wait for them to come to you. So after round 163 and the first insta-kill round, the strategy will once again be training up the zombies in a full room train in the mystery box room while tapping the trigger of the flamethrower for its maximum effectiveness. If you've never played Nacht Untoten, the flamethrower can kill zombies forever. It's just a fact that it kills them quite slowly, but if you tap the trigger, then you can get it to start damaging the zombies quicker. It also has infinite ammo, you just need to wait for it to recharge, and also by tapping the trigger, you'll make it so that it charges up and you have to wait for it to cool down less. From here though, I will be skipping at least a few hundred rounds at a time. As I said earlier in the video, the world record before Cruppz, it was around 2,511. And Cruppz quite literally doubled it in one go. And if I was to cover every single thing that happened in this game, then we'd be here forever. But seriously, just Cruppz doubling this world record to me is insane because Nacht hasn't really been pushed up more than a couple hundred rounds at a time ever. This is also on the 2-hit system and on World of War, where the zombies can sometimes do weird stuff that you'd never see normally and you just die randomly. So I want to give major props to Cruppz for this because, I mean, he's just insane at World of War in general, and for him to just double this record is crazy. But this whole thing does bring up the question of where does this leave Nacht or Untoten in the future? Like, can it even be pushed up any higher than this, or is anyone even going to attempt it? And well, your answer is, it can actually be pushed up quite a lot. Because Cruppz was only 95 hours into his game, and a reset even at 150 hours meant that Nacht has the potential to be pushed up thousands of more rounds in the future. The biggest problem though, to my knowledge, is that there's only a few hardcore World of War players that are still around, and with Cold War coming out in only a few weeks, I would assume that World of War is going to take a backseat to the newest game, at least for a little while. There's also the issue of Cruppz himself. He's grinded World of War for quite a few years now, and after he got the Shinonuma world record, he was incredibly burned out and he doubted if he was even going to play zombies again. And he says he's in a worse place mentally now after this Nacht game than he was after Shinonuma. And after Shino, he really didn't play zombies for a few months, so it seems like he might be taking an extended break, or he might just walk away from zombies altogether after this. And without him, I'm not sure who would even put in the time or the energy to push up a map like this. Because Nacht requires that you play at least 100 rounds without getting double swiped, and the mechanics aren't very popular among high round players, which is why not a lot of them play it anymore. You also need an Xbox 360, and most players for the older games like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 have moved over to PC and gotten rid of their old consoles. So there's a real chance that if Cruppz doesn't reattempt this in the future, that this could be the last time, or at least for a very long time, that Nacht will see a brand new world record. And generally speaking, it's such a shame that World of War doesn't get more players trying to push these records up, because pretty much every map has a lot more high round potential in it. Like, even Shinonuma's got some potential still. Anyway, I got sidetracked really hard. Back to Cruppz's game. Here is round 5,000 on only the second Zombies map in Call of Duty Zombies. The only other map with a higher round than this is Shinonuma, so I think it's just a special moment that he doubled this world record and is the second person to ever get around 5,000 on any map. And right now on the screen, you guys should be seeing the last round of Cruppz's game, and the final stats were 3 billion points, 113,000 kills, and 96 hours of playtime over the course of 23 days. So do me a massive favor real quick and go check out Cruppz in the description for me. While you're down there, comment your highest round on Nacht if you've ever played, and if you haven't, then what's your highest round in zombies ever just in general, and subscribe if you haven't. Check out my other world record and challenge videos popping up on the screen right now. Cruppz, I know you're probably going to watch this. I know that you're burned out as hell, man. I would just say take a break for a little while. You've done way more than enough. Come back eventually and go and get vrucked. I mean, why not? You might as well. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.